When I wake up in the morning and the wind is really blowing, I don't think I'm gonna make my tea time. By the time I grab my clubs and give my wife a hug, I'm at the first hole just in time to get my bets in line. It's alright, cause I'm back to school. Reaching in my bag, I know I hit a snag, cause I lost all of my golf balls last time. Hitting up on my friends, degenerates to the end. If I can borrow one Pro V, I'm gonna be just fine. It's alright, cause I'm back to school.
All right, Mr. Golfberg.
Hey,
There's a rumor on the street that we may have filmed this without recording it. So
I wouldn't know.
I don't know because it wasn't recorded. So who would know?
I wouldn't know.
So here we are. So back to school. We're going to jump right into it. But first, I have to address the elephant in the room. I don't know about you. I can't even get a cup of coffee without people just asking, what is the deal with back to school? They say, Mr. Goldy, Mr. Golfberg, I know you're trying to get your coffee, but I don't understand the format. And I say, well, yeah, the majority of plug related content for the long form, you're going to Bandon Dunes, you're going to Old Barnwell, you're going to Chambers. Yeah, well, yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's not representative of the majority of golf we play. And even though we want it to be a cornerstone for the lettuce heads and our plug product to creatively bring you in to some of these highly desirable places, we got to have some other avenues for some long form content. Back to school came up because, hey, there's a lot of really cool university owned, university aligned golf courses that are publicly accessible, affordable. Some of them are private, but they're not super ritzy. They're easy to get on. So we thought it'd be a fun way, kind of get a little wild, get a little more silly, get a little less serious golf.
I was just thinking, like, where are these dipshit 20-year-olds that think they're better than us playing their golf?
Yeah. Dude,
let's go infiltrate.
Yeah. You know, these Zoomers with their ball speed and their what else do Zoomers have?
Short attention spans. I was gonna say
I don't think they can putt.
No, they don't putt. They probably don't even putt.
All right, so Mr. Golfberg, Goldy officially enrolled. He went back to school to Georgia Southern University. It's Statesboro, Georgia.
Did you mean to do that?
Rural Southeast Georgia has an enrollment of 27,000 students. What are your feelings of large? It's big. It's a big university. What are your feelings on large universities?
Good way to get lost and lose your way in this life.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I went to a giant school, University of Illinois, great golf program, but it was like a friggin' zoo there. So good luck getting out alive.
Yeah, certainly there's some pros and cons to that. Little course tidbit, opened in 2013, so it's relatively new by a Mr. Bob Walker. I tried to look up Bob. I couldn't find anything crazy significant on him, but good on him because it was on Golf Digest's best new courses of 2013.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, good job, year. Bob. Like moving on to golf here, second hole, we had an easy birdie on the first hole, par 5, got into two putt. You're going to see a few drives in a row here of trying to execute this hold off cut because it's pretty claustrophobic off the tee for most of the front 9 here.
All right, got a little lucky here. Blew it pretty hard right.
Winter rules
off the tee.
So what are your feelings on winter rules on the mud ball?
Gotta play them. Golf's obnoxious if you don't play winter rules. I don't know what would be in your head if you're thinking, no, I gotta smack it out of this mud, and I know I lost it in all these leaves in the fairway, but that's a lost ball. Yeah, like that, it's just give me a break.
A lot of hardos out there. So had a little bit of an optical issue here. Of I was hell bent on capturing every shot, but this fairway bunker blocked it, so I had to zoom in on the flag. And luckily, we caught a little ball drop in there. So ended up with a nice little 20-footer coming up here with a birdie opportunity. So, I mean, that thing, it broke a few feet. And what do you got there?
Cherry Coke Zero.
Is that your favorite?
I'd like to honor your good par with a Cherry Coke Zero.
Yeah, anybody from the Cherry Coke Zero marketing team, if you could just reach out to us, that would be appreciated.
I can also say, like, Cherry Coke Zero.
So, Mr. Golfberg, as the footage is rolling here, a couple things. Believe it or not, Mr. Danny McBride is from Statesboro, Georgia, and he met a famous alumni and comedy partner, Mr. Walton Goggins during Statesboro, Georgia Southern
I like
University.
both of them.
Some of the greatest comedy
those.
of the last decade. Walton Goggins is like as good as it gets, and Danny McBride's produced like 3 of the funniest sitcoms, if that's what they're called, of the last decade. So all because of Georgia Southern University in Statesboro, Georgia. Had a nice little vibe here. This was actually pretty similar to the putt I just had on 2, but a little more break. We drained it. Want to do a quick shout out here to my rando partner. He kind of was thinking he was getting in my way, and I'm the one filming, and kind of I'm the douche of this situation. So I got to give him a lot of credit. He kind of kept to himself, but also you will find out he was like the motivating factor of keeping me engaged in this round. He would just have these little tidbits, these little drops. So I saw a 9-iron here. So Aaron, to think through as the golfer's mindset. So gentle par 5 to open, you 2-putt birdie. You kind of get away with 1 on 2, still have a birdie look. 3, excellent birdie. 4, you saw a 9-iron. This is literally like 4 feet. This is, you try not to get ahead of yourself, but it's almost, I've been golfing a long time. It's kind of hard not to sometimes. It's just thinking like, all right, let's make this and let's fucking go.
But you have no control over the make. You only have control over the stroke. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of pace there, but at least I wanted to make it.
But you and I have talked about this. Sometimes an early little miss is all you need to get your putting totally in line the rest of the day.
As long as it was a good miss, like if you like executed it, like that one felt good, but you just knew there's just something fractionally when you really like heel it or toe it, it's a little freaky if it's early.
Yeah, that's true. I don't do that, but I would imagine that would be hard for someone who would have putting woes.
I'm not going to lie. I was kind of heated, which is hard to do. I'm playing at E9 after work. I'm paired with my buddy, the Georgia Southern Rando. I kind of this tee shot was so bad the tracer didn't even like it. We didn't even bother trying to fix it. But I will say, pretty cool little hole here. It's only 384 on the card, but really you can see all the water coming down the right, and you have to take it down center right if you want it to play 384. You take it down the left, OB comes in quicker than it looks. B, you're adding 60, 70 yards to the hole, and you're going to find it's a pretty gnarly 2-tiered elevated green. Hand to God right here. Yeah. No kidding. One of the best irons I've hit of the last 5 years.
Do you see how long your body stayed down on that ball at impact? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so this one right here.
That looked like it was flirting with it.
Again, 167. It's back right flag, tuck, 2-tier green
behind
behind these 2 massive bunkers. It was actually a really cool hole, but it was just one of the. It's like, man, everything I've been working on, that's just what I would like to do, obviously, every single time. But the compression, the flight, the control. Mr. Puffin, what do you think? Don't look like Bandon to me. That's probably not what he sounds
He's
like.
pissed.
Yeah, he does look a little pissed. So here's for the bounce back.
I think he's looking at that logo. I want to kill that fucking bird.
Oh man,
what is that, by the way? Is that logo their state?
It's the state logo of Georgia Southern.
State bird. Okay.
It's an eagle. They are the Eagles.
Oh.
So this is a good time. Georgia Southern trivia. If you had to guess, what does Gata stand for?
Got you. The Georgia Aeronautical Technical Institute of Appreciation.
Georgia makes sense, but believe it or not, it is get after their asses. This comes from their sports teams. I'm assuming a football coach, football program, and they're it's on everything. It's on hats. You saw the big letter hats,
right?
You know
whose asses? The other team they're playing against.
They're getting after their asses. But yeah, the other team. I would presume.
That's
too specific.
A could stand for Aaron and Andrew. Golf. Aaron, Titleist Andrew.
We get it. Okay, it's probably a hard cut. All right. So speaking of hard cuts, we've been trying to flight this little hold off cut here. This tee shot, obviously you see the water left, but it's kind of harder to pick up. This is like a 15-yard landing spot. bunker down the whole right side, about an 80, 90-yard bunker. Anything right of that bunker is a hazard. So there's not really a bailout here. This is really just you got to pick your number, hit the shot. Also, it's a forced carry of about 200 yards. So,
which way is that fairway? Is that like, which way is the fairway going? Is it straight or is it?
It's pretty straight, but you see where it comes into the water, then it bends right back down to like where it kind of opens up to about a 25-yard landing area and then necks back to about a 10-yard landing area. But the green is literally straight away. But let's take a look.
Let's see the ideal shot shape. Hi. Sick, bro.
Yeah, pretty
ballsy to say the least.
Yeah, I definitely you could see I almost ran out of real estate too, so driver probably wasn't the play, but look, for the content play, we'll take that all day. Good speed, but left another tester.
It doesn't look like one from this angle, but I believe you. This looks
You think
like
it's gimme
nothing.
range?
It looks like it. What do we got? 4 feet again? 1, 2,
Yeah, it's
3.
about 4 feet.
You can just count it. 1, 2, 3. That was 3.5 feet.
That was a perfect time for the text to come in because that might have dinged right when the putt was dropping. So right here, man. Yeah, this is a big boy par 3. I'm gonna pause it here for 1 second as I'm staring at the golf ball. So 213 on the card, but it was 230 stick that day. It's a long, narrow green. Again, 2-tiered that slopes off the back. I landed it right on where the tier begins, and it released back. And I thought I was like, man, this looks like I have 5 feet in that 230-yard par 3. We'll take it. But that water comes in tight left. You got a little bailout right, but then everything's sloping away from you. But as you'll find out, sloped a little too much, probably coming in with a little too much speed with that draw.
On a hole like this, you're thinking just get around the pin so I can hopefully chip it close anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's this green is absurdly narrow for a 230-yard par 3 over water. I guess in their defense, you could go a little long. I guess that's the bailout, which came here. But here, this is golf nerd moment. Dormant Bermuda, you can see from the video, the issue with it, Dormant Bermuda is hard enough as is to chip on, but the grain is going in like 17 different directions. It's like ingrown hair central going on just off the back of this green. I took off camera probably 20 practice swings. Look, I had the putter. I was debating because everything in front of it was pretty flat, but I knew, look, man, if we got a round going, we need to get this thing up and in. We put it off the back foot a little, got that handle high, exposed the bounce, almost tried to de facto hit it a little high on the face. I just needed to get it on the green. It's not going to have
that
any
toe
spin.
Down?
Yeah, I got that toe down, and just let it release. So let's take a look at the execution. That was at least the plan.
A little outside in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just use that bounce. And it's still, you could still see right there. It's some grab, but luckily just get enough of the ball first and get it there. And yeah, we got a nice little tap in. Got to survive 7 with a par. That was the one I was worried about. Then
it's the best part of golf, chipping, man. It's my favorite part.
So wait, hold on. Let's peel that back. Why?
I think one underrated idea about chipping is you're always chipping for birdie. So it's always just like high reward potential. And there's not this pressure that you have to make it. And even with like a lag par putt, it's all this like, if I don't get it to like within a foot, I've done the wrong. But with chipping, it's like you can let loose a little bit, be a little more creative, and I can try to make a birdie.
Chip to 3 feet, you feel great about yourself. And so right here is the last hole where the water comes into play. I kind of necked one just to avoid it. That hold off cut again. But here's the first little bit of adversity, man. I had a tweener club. I really came out and fanned the shit out of this. I almost got lucky that it wasn't a hosel. It was hosel adjacent, but I'm trying to grind here, and my man, I got to shout him out. He's down there. He's fishing out golf balls, though. He was doing him, so more power to him. But yeah, we were pretty short-sighted, pretty far below the green. We pitched it. It chewed a little more than I thought. Now I've used the T-word tester a few times. This was the tester of tester because we had a par 5 to close. It was wide open, free range. Just do not blow one here.
He's 2 for 3 on testers.
Got a little over cocky here. I mean, in retrospect, you're just playing a casual round by yourself, slamming flag sticks. But I was excited because I knew I had the par 5, and that's it. And I got the full rip one, no hold off. Definitely best drive of the day. But it's also nice because you could have hit it 80 yards left or right and been fine. Left myself a 4-iron in. Decent contact.
Look at these straight shots.
Yeah. But it just a little short right.
Okay.
And you'll find here, I want to get it up and in for that final bird, but this is kind of a diabolical green. Angle doesn't do it justice, but you'll see here, you could go right at the pin, or you could go for the hero shot and play off the bank that I had behind it. And let's just listen in and see what we did.
Not right at the pin. Plays the bank. Coming down. It's good stuff.
I thought I did it. I thought we did it, and we would have a short social clip that would be guaranteed to get 1,000 to 2,000 views. So
at least 10 likes.
At least 10 likes. 32. Goldy went back to school. Danny McBride, Walton Goggins, and Adrian Peterson went to Georgia Southern. They stayed plugged. So should you.
Well said.